Guess what, boys and girls? It's time for another Q&A Sunday, the show where I answer your gun and gear questions from all over social media. Every week we give away a small prize pack to the person that submits the best question as voted per you guys, and last week's winner for his question on gun trust was Blackbeard11 from Instagram. You guys really like that question. Obviously, you all want more information on that, and that information is to come at a later date. Blackbeard11, go ahead and get me your information so I can get your prize pack out this week. Our first question this week is from Facebook user Michael Hanner, and he wanted to know if his barrel is damaged, is it able to be repaired? Can he fix it? Can someone else fix it? Etc. Now, the first thing I will say is no. I would not mess around with a damaged barrel. It depends on how it's damaged. If it's bulged, throw it in the trash. I mean, I understand you're trying to save money and repair something, but it's not exactly a good idea. Now, here's something to consider. If the rifling is damaged, is it still somewhat accurate, or is it beyond the point of being a usable barrel anymore? At that point, adding metal to it to regain that rifling and having it recut would be just as expensive as getting a new barrel. New barrels are easy to find for most guns, so I would not exactly say that you should repair it because you're wasting your time and effort. I don't think it's possible to repair, and I wouldn't recommend it, honestly. I would say just get a new barrel if at all possible, and if it's really that crappy, just hang it on the wall, brother. You know, you've got a wall hanger. I would not trust a repaired barrel. Instagram user Sax Burrito wants to know if I think NFA items should be legal, and if there are legal ones, what restrictions should be in place. Now, the simple answer to that is they already are legal. You can own them. Some states have restrictions, but as a national issue, we can own them. The problem becomes the amount of restrictions on getting them, the amount of crap you have to go through. Now, I think that every NFA item should be available for purchase at no extra cost, no tax stamp, no nothing, no wait times, just a normal background check, just like you would with a firearm. I think it should be a normal thing. I think the NFA should be completely abolished. I think it's ridiculous at this point. I mean, heck, I can shoot a semi-automatic rifle just as fast as some machine guns. Not an AR-15, but you understand the point I'm trying to make is that it doesn't matter that much. Suppressors, they improve accuracy, help with recoil, and reduce the amount of noise. What about that is a bad thing? Nothing. I think that any NFA item should be available for purchase without any nonsense, just a normal background check like you go through for a firearm purchase. The next question is from Daniel Denny on YouTube, and he wanted to know if I EDC a first aid kit. And I'll be honest with you, brother, I don't right now because I don't have the knowledge necessary to apply that first aid kit in a reasonable manner. I don't want to carry something I'm not capable of using properly and cause more harm than good. Now, what I will say is that I want to get more training on that, but at the moment I don't. I recommend to everybody that if you can put a hole in somebody, you should be able to repair a hole in somebody. And, you know, my mistake, I have not done that yet. I'll own up to that, sure. Do I want to get some training? Yes, I do. There are a lot of guys out there. For instance, Kerry from Dark Angel Medical does a great medical course. Shocking. And he's also got some really nice kits. There are also a whole bunch of other kits that you can get a hold of. A lot of other good medical training as well. So, yeah, I don't right now, but I recommend that you do. Jason Gonzalez on Facebook wanted to know, what is one gun that every person should own? Now, this is a very complex question because every person is kind of a broad thing. Every gun owner should at least have a good shotgun, a good revolver, and a good bolt-action rifle. Now, that's very basic. On a more specific level, I think everybody out there should have a Smith & Wesson 686 revolver and a Remington 870. Or, you know, if you really want to be a Mossberg guy, you can get a 500, but I'm not a fan of those. I prefer the 870. So I would say if you got to have one gun that everybody should own, a 686 revolver or a Remington 870 of some sort. The reason I say this is because they're both so simple to operate use, clean, etc. I think that is why you should own the 870 and the 686. Last but not least, our final question this week is from Tactical Texan on Instagram. This guy always submits a lot of good questions, and this week we're going to answer the question, do I think that every American should be able to own and carry firearms, including people under the ages of 18 and 21, as well as felons? This was the question he posed. Now, I will say this. I think you should be able to own a handgun at the age of 18. I think it's absurd that you can be sent overseas to defend our country, but you can't get a handgun when you return if you're under the age of 21. I think that's asinine. I think you should certainly be able to buy a handgun at the age of 18 if you can be sent across the seas. Now, felons. Felons, no. No, I don't think any felon should be able to purchase, own, carry a firearm. Now, why? Because when you chose to break that law, whatever it may be, regardless of whether you think it's a just law or not, you broke a law. And with that, you lose your rights. You lose your right to vote, you lose your right to own a firearm, and a few others that I'm probably not that aware of. So I don't think you should be able to own and carry as a felon. I think every other American, besides that, every law-abiding citizen from the age of 18 or older should be able to. Now, why 18? Well, you've got a lot of responsibility in owning and carrying a firearm. I think that 18 is a roundabout age. Obviously, the age is very arbitrary, and that does not regard maturity level or things like that. There are some guys at 18 that just don't get it, some guys at 21 that will never get it. You know, they just don't know how to operate in a normal scenario. However, on a legal standpoint, across the board, I think 18, you should be able to own and carry a handgun and rifle, whatever you want to do. I think that is the way to do it. I don't think that felons should be able to. I don't think the mentally ill, the registered mentally ill should be able to. I think that's going a little too far. But as it stands, you got it. That's my opinion. 18 and older, on a broad spectrum, you should be able to own and carry handguns, firearms, whatever, what have you. And guess what, guys? That's it for this week. I appreciate you all watching. Please remember to vote for your favorite questions in the comment section down below. You can also submit your own in that very same comment section. As always, guys, if you enjoyed this week's episode, give it the old thumbs up, share it with your friends, etc., etc. As always, thank you for watching, guys. We'll see you soon. Remember, guys, you can support the channel more by going to patreon.com/I'mWithChaos.